Oh, you can swear on, I love to beep stuff up.
Well, if you filmed us like doing painting an entire piece, that might take
Time lapse.
time lapse.
If you want to do that, that would be great.
Right? Like doing an entire painting.
Oh, shit. Now, Wicca is something that was made in the 1950s by an Englishman. It's synthetic.
A Wiccan.
It's like Druidism. I studied Druidism, then I found out it was all wiped out, and they're just making it up, which is kind of depressing. But, most religion is just made up.
I get it.
Ooh, a tenor.
Most religions are weighing up. Aren't they all made up?
Mine isn't.
Mine isn't either.
It's the tax-free church of...
No. What if you guys should probably go, because what if the show starts? I'm not going to be able to carry it. Did you see last week how awkward that was?
Well, you don't have to bring it. We'll just
you don't
talk.
Ever watch, do you?
I used to have a watch and was obsessed with time.
No, you don't ever watch your shows, do you?
I don't ever watch my shows?
Yeah, you said you don't.
Christ, I have to look how ugly I am. And my voice.
Did you watch last week when you left? And I answered the phone?
Jesus, did you start some bill collector?
No, you didn't watch it, did you?
They're always...
You should watch it.
I have to file for bankruptcy.
You should definitely watch it, because...
Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. Some things in life are bad, they can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. This'll help things turn out for the best. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the right side of life. If life seems jolly rotten, there's something you've forgotten. And that's to laugh and smile and dance and sing. When you're feeling in the dumps, don't be silly chumps. Just purse your lips and whistle, that's the thing. So always look on the bright side of death. Just before you draw your terminal breath. Life's a counterfeit when you look at it. Life's a laugh and death's the joke, it's true. You see, it's all a show. Keep them laughing as you go. Just remember the last laugh is on you. Always look on the bright side of
You look terrible. Hi, geez, I look terrible too. Oh, I see what it is. It's this background. Well, we have a miscreant with us today. He was supposed to be sitting where I'm sitting, but he didn't show up because he said it was his birthday and he was talking to his mom. Now, you have the nice sad-eyed look. Can we cut to our miscreant over here?
It's my birthday, guys. I wanted you to have the pilot seat. It's your show.
No, you were supposed to sit here.
Yeah, but,
You were supposed to be here 20 minutes ago.
I was. That's true.
You were.
But
Can you verify that?
yeah, I'm late.
This is a time of the new McCarthyism. You're going to have to back yourself up. Look, I even made with great effort, a banner that's for you.
Wow, that's beautiful, John. Thank you.
Oh my God, I've got 2 microphones.
It's like a collaboration.
I feel like FDR now.
Yeah.
Except one phone. Huh. Oh, okay. Put it like this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they used to have the microphone with the MBS on it, the Mutual Broadcasting System, but that's long gone.
Okay.
The days of radio. You're not supposed to have liquid beverages in here.
It's just water.
Gonzo.
I can't have water.
Can you have a beverage if it's capped? Uh-oh, my editorial. Are those
What's wrong with
voices I'm
you?
hearing PTSD?
What is wrong with you, John?
You weren't here.
What are you, a tattletale?
Yes.
We have a tattletale on our
I
hands.
was a sergeant in the Army. I was a barrack sergeant. I ran a section.
Yeah, did you get your ass kicked for like...
Never.
Never?
I was 5'4" and 137 pounds. They made it because I was the meanest person there. What gets you through the Army doesn't necessarily get you through life, though.
I can't imagine. I
Yeah.
respect everyone for doing it, but
Hey, happy birthday,
thank you.
birthday boy.
What know how old I am, I assume?
No,
Okay, good.
you're over 40, right?
Any guesses out there?
Are you over 40?
I'm 42, but
Well,
I
that's
look...
good. How can we guess now?
I don't know what I look. What do I look? Right now, I look a little older, but...
44.
See, I could have been here earlier, but I like to walk the streets of Manchester, get a nice feel for the day.
Well, if you're going to be on the show, you've got to be here on time, early.
Right. But if I can contribute more by taking that walk, I think it's necessary.
No,
It is my
because if you're
birthday.
not here at 3,
I won't
no
do it
show
again.
goes on.
Won't do it again.
We also have somebody calling in from, but he has a call to London. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's cool.
So,
So what do you wait? You panic if I'm not here, and then
I
you
have
call
high
Bill
level-
Barry, and you call...
I have to have somebody
you
to
call
talk to.
everybody, save me.
Ask Brendan what it's like when I'm on just by myself.
I told
All
Peter-
sorts of things happen.
I told Peter to watch, so you better be watching. We'll find out in the morning.
Peter knows what it's
Find out in the
like.
morning. Peter's a big fan of Ward 13.
Peter's seen me in full PTSD mode, believe me.
Oh my God.
You haven't. Matt's seen me a few times.
I've seen you panic. Like,
It's not panic. It's just anxiety.
it's just entertainment, John. We're just
Yeah,
here.
but you're not here.
We're here
By
to-
not being here. See, I'm interrupting you now. I was going to
Yes.
go over there and listen to you. I should be wearing my mask
Yes.
now that you're on, because you have a kid.
Well, I'd like to talk about the versatility of my new look today.
Well, why don't you tell the audience why I'm wearing a mask today? Oh, we have a call. Hi, it's Ward 13. Who's this?
This is your savior.
Oh, thank you. It's Bill Barry.
Hey, Bill.
Gonzo, happy birthday, buddy.
Thanks, Bill.
He decided to.
Over 35, buddy.
He admits to 42.
35, I'll take that. That's what I was wondering, what I really
42.
look.
I was surprised. I was thinking mid-30s.
Ah, I appreciate that. So we'll write that down.
No, with the gray in the beard, I am at 44.
44.
Well, after you told me 42, I had to say something.
You're as young as you feel, John. Ask Bill. Look at Bill. He looks 44 tops.
Do you?
Right, exactly. You know, I'm looking at you two guys on TV, and you got the mask on. Either you're really working it for the COVID-19, or you're preparing to go rob a store.
Well,
Maybe we're doing both.
I'm demoing to the people who are a little reluctant to wear a mask the different fashion options that you can pull off and still be conscious of other people.
Like
So-
Bill Belichick says, and the Patriots say, "Do your job. If everyone does their job, then we don't have anything to worry about."
That's right. And if I'm an influencer. I'm a Manch influencer. But you know what, Bill? You nailed it. Or just by that, just kind of take a step back and look at
It's sad, you know, this whole thing. It's sad. You know, my daughter's a senior. She's graduating from Trinity this year, and they actually did a great thing. The principal, the assistant principal, and one of the administrative staff members went through. I actually went to visit every single senior yesterday and today to drop off signs that say graduate, 2020 Trinity High School.
Right.
So they get to, and then drop off their caps and their gowns for the graduation and so on. But it was they had the Trinity bus, very, very first class. It was awesome, and the sign's out in our yard right now. And like I told John before, I just finished mowing the lawn, so it would look nice for the sign.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
At our age,
Yeah.
Bill, it could prove fatal,
Yeah.
particularly
Not
when
kidding.
you run over a rock or something.
Hey, Bill, I got a question. Now,
Yes, sir.
having a kid at 41 years old, does that put me in the same shoes? Like, you kind of feel like you're running yourself at your age?
You're in the same exact shoes as me, buddy.
Yeah.
'cause I was
Same thing,
41.
right? So it is doable then.
That's right. It's awesome. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. You know what's you know what life's all about by now.
Oh, yeah.
I
It's
think-
so cool.
Don't you think that? I think that being a father at 40 is, in some ways, you have a better relationship with your kid.
A new father, too. New at the whole game. So, like,
Yeah, my brother had his
Yeah,
first
well,
kid
me
when he's
too.
40.
This is our only child, so
that's cool, man.
we I believe we did a great job. She's going to be going to Bryant University this
Sweet.
fall, and depending on how what's going to happen, if they're going to actually open up for
No kidding, right?
there, which I hope
So
to do,
weird.
because you need to have that college atmosphere.
Hey, did you have to make your deposit yet on the university?
I did. We did.
You might be needing
Yeah,
a
we
third
did.
pension now.
Yeah, that's
or a
a
fourth one.
that's a good school.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really good, smart.
But what does it feel like to have your baby is going to leave the nest?
I know.
I
It's going to be
can't-
tough. It's certainly going to be tough on my wife, but it's going to be tough on both of us.
Yeah.
Certainly going to be different, and but you know what? It's great for her. She obviously she had quite a few options. She got accepted to quite a few colleges, and
Yeah.
came down to two, and she ended up choosing Bryant, and it was I think it's a great choice. I did a lot of work myself, checking it out and so on, and looking into what they do and what the kids do when they actually graduate. When they're
Right.
and they do pretty good out in the. She's going in for finance and accounting and stuff, so she'll be. I'm sure she'll be all set.
Yeah, that's true. A accounting degree is valuable for almost anything because the way it makes you
Right.
think and the ability it gives you to, tell the truth or realize what's true by really understanding statistics and accounting and finance.
You know, Bill,
Yeah.
do you
Yeah. So we're happy and we're proud of her, obviously.
real quick, do you remember? Does it vividly remind? Like, can you remember when she was 1 years old? Because it just
Yep.
seems like
Yep.
crazy to think
You know
of that
what, one
day
thing
ever
I
coming.
remember, it was funny because I was working at the sheriff's office, and where we moved to where we live now on the west side back in 2004.
Mhm.
And she was 2 years old then, and
Gee.
I remember I would go before. That was back when I was working at the sheriff's office, and I would go to Panera in Bedford like every day, Monday through Friday,
Yeah.
and even on the weekends. But Monday through Friday, I'd go there and have my coffee before I had to go into work, and just to relax and so on. But on weekends, I would continue, and I'd go there, and I would be bringing her with me, and she'd sit down in the seat that with the car holder, the thing that you have that you can carry, and bring her into Panera, and she did that for probably about 6-7 years.
That's cool, man.
It was fun. We had a good time, and it's stuff like that, Mike. It's you'll see, but do a lot. Is it a son or daughter?
It's a boy.
1 year old.
Boy.
1 year old tomorrow.
There you go. You got
No, 2 days. 2 days.
fourth coming
22nd. Now, what my problem is, I'm so scared he's gonna get hurt all the time. My wife calls me a wimp,
That's
but I
true.
just can't sit there and watch him like in the tub fall down and crack himself. So like
Like the Dragnet episode.
I'm too protective. I gotta deal with the fact that he's gonna bang himself up a little bit.
It's normal anxiety.
Oh, it's the worst anxiety I have. But I guess that goes away, right, Bill?
Oh yeah, it does. So
It gets a
you're
little more
only
serious.
A year old, a little over a year. So you've
Yeah.
you're gonna love it. It's a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
it's awesome. Thanks for the words. I always
My,
like picking a brain.
My roommate at the Defense Language Institute 60 years old. He's going to have his first kid
Wow.
in 1 month. He's going to be a first-time father at 60. But it's better late than never, you know. That's one regret I have. I never became a father.
Well, you just
And
got inspired.
And my friends have grandkids. You know, some of the our contemporaries, Bill, who started early on their families, are grandparents now. Yeah.
You know, you actually have to get laid to have a kid.
You were being vulgar again, and you're not supposed to be that.
It's not
Mike,
a,
just think, in another
You're supposed to have
another
a
4 or 5
paycheck,
years,
too.
you'll be bringing them up to North Little League.
I know. I can't wait. Scott, my brother's already doing that. Playing the
Sure,
politics
sure.
game. Oh, yeah. It's crazy how early it starts, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Remember those days? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
The best and the
back
worst.
when I played, you know, I grew up in Central Little League, but back when I played, it was 9 years old, and it was like it was either you made it or you didn't make it. They didn't have T-ball, they didn't have
Right.
minor league, they didn't have it yet, you know, and
They got
Started
their...
so it was Little League, and that was it, 9 through 12, and you know, I went out when I was 9. I was fortunate, made it, and played 4 years here, and but now it's you know, they certainly, you know, the instruction starts so early now.
Yeah.
Bill, what was your team?
At Central Little League,
Yeah.
Noise Tire.
Okay. I was on a team on the west side of Hickman Garage, but that's long gone now. God, he'd be in his 90s now. And Gary Hamer
Yeah.
was on Dairy Queen, which was the powerhouse of the west side.
Yeah, speaking of Dairy Queen,
Yeah.
they're moving up quick. I mean, the last 3 or 4 weeks, they're number 2 in the nation
Yeah.
for
Saw
the service, and they're really close to taking over the number 1 spot for the amount of people served in a week.
That's a great Dairy
And that's
Queen.
the one on 2nd Street.
Yeah.
the one on
That
410.
first place is in New York City, I think.
Really?
So it's a little hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think there's like 5,000 Dairy Queens.
Wow.
In the one on 2nd Street in Manchester is the second most busiest in the
Crushing
in
it,
that state.
Dairy Queen in the Queen City.
Yeah, but it's such a well-managed place, you know. It's all you
That's
never
what-
have an
yeah.
unpleasant time there, and
They
you
do the doggy cone day. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
no,
that's
good for
true.
them though.
But
I
every
mean,
day when you go through the drive-in, if you have a pup in the car, they'll give you a little bone.
What about an inflatable dog?
No, that failed when we tried that going down in the Diamond Lane. Remember to Boston?
That something tells me that's a true story.
Little did we know. Well, I thought that was with me and you.
Nope.
She wasn't really a blown-up doll. She was just strung out, you know.
I didn't mean to get you
Mesmerized.
going.
So, Mike, did it work when you went down there?
Say that again.
It did until he took his finger out of the
Did it work?
hole.
You know, when you went into the Diamond Lane or whatever they call it.
No, I did. They were on to me.
They actually,
Or on-
She
yeah.
deflated, actually. Yeah.
you have Pebble deflated, and they got the $271 ticket, huh?
Hey, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry to get
But it was
off
worth-
course.
But it was worth it. I'm sure the cops must have laughed.
I don't know.
It was the cop that deflated her. But we won't go into
I
details.
try not to, have too many interactions with the authority. You know, I try to stay in my lane and just keep my head down. You know,
Yeah.
Hey, well, keep your mask on.
keep your mask on and answer. I feel like if you just answer the questions right away, don't piss them off
That's
right
right,
away.
no.
Don't
Yes, sir,
agitate
no,
them.
sir. Yes,
Then you're
ma'am.
good.
No, ma'am.
That
Well,
probably
it's true.
opens the door so much easier than any kind of attitude, because you don't want to deal with that as well. And it's like, yes sir, yes sir. It's like, oh, okay, phew, breath of fresh air
It's
here.
true. It's, you know, my father taught us when we were kids, no matter what you think, just be polite. Because you have no idea what that person, the call they just came from, or what they're dealing with. And, you know,
Well, that
you
could
can't
go
treat
both-
them like your old man at times.
That could go both ways. I mean,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
they're human. We're human. I think
So,
there's.
Mike, so the next time you're on the highway, Mike, and you're going, and you get pulled
With Dolly.
over, and the state trooper asks you how, you know, you were going 75 or 80, you know, if you're going 85, just tell them, say, well, you must have been going fast to keep up with me.
That's true.
That's
That might work.
Well, I've been dropping your name for about 10 years now, so that's been working too.
Yeah, and,
I'm saving that
and,
one.
and the fine doubles.
Saving that one.
Yeah, if all worst comes to worst, you can just give Dolly over to the officer and plead clemency. You know,
No.
it gets lonely on those ships. There's not two guys in a car anymore.
Hey, if you get a name drop, I'm sure every single person name drops. However, if you just approach it with, hey, yes, sir, don't get the mad shade and you usually talk your way out of anything. Not way out of it, but be on your way, you know.
You know what? But be polite. You know what? Things happen. That's the way it goes. But I've heard so many people have actually been given a break because they were honest. You know, and
Yeah.
they were polite.
Oh, yeah. Honesty, like,
Or she was good looking.
cops are very key on honesty. For some reason, if they catch you in a little lie tying your shoe or something, that's not a good way to start. But I've learned
So
from
Mike,
chat rooms.
You still following going down that axe trail? You still an artist?
I am, yeah.
Is he?
Great. You do some great work.
Thanks, man. I'm working
Can we show?
extra hard right now.
Can we show Gonzo's self-portrait up in the back?
That's,
I think that's one.
oh, let me see.
Number one. That is you, right?
We'll see. Yes, that is me, yes.
What's the beauty
I
mark?
think I saw. I think I may have. I think I may have seen it on Facebook.
That's my Jon Snow.
You look like a pirate.
Yeah, I know.
You look like a pirate,
I've never really looked at it.
and it looks like you have like an old-fashioned, like IBM early '80s computer terminal in your head. It's very sci-fi-ish.
You got me. You get me, man.
Hey, can we see number two? And he can tell us who it is.
Looks like I'm freezing. Oh, that is your like John Hamm type madman kind of 50s character guy.
It does.
Like no one in particular. It's not Draper, but it could be a Draper type.
Now, why did you
like
want
it-
to do this?
I like his look. I like to be ambiguous. I like to make people think: is he smiling? Is he farting? Is he worried? Is he scared out of his mind? Because they're all. It could be any one of those.
Didn't you read
He could be so happy. He could have just found out the best news ever right now too.
Now, didn't you read the MPTS guidelines about F words on air?
Yeah, what I
The
say.
word is to expel a flatus. Okay?
No, you're gonna have to get me those guidelines.
Oh, jeez.
I must
You'll probably turn it into an art project, right?
Great idea.
And
But
let's
that's
let's
the kinda-
see. I think the next thing is the couple is the four. Oh, here we go. Now, what is this?
Well, what do you think it is?
It looks like a horse on the left. It does. Look it. You told me that doesn't.
It's
look
like a Rocket
horse?
Man type of guy,
You mean? Oh, yeah. I see
he's
now.
propelling
right.
through the air,
Well, I should tell by the silver, right?
and he's holding a cupcake.
Bill, I thought it had to do with a horse race, like Saratoga or something.
He might be holding a cupcake. I don't know what he's holding.
I thought that was a horse coming down the stretch with another horse in back of it.
Okay.
It's like a Rorschach test.
You got an eye.
And now my cousins, we have two slides of them. My cousin Harry and his wife, the mother of Archie. Can we see 4A? Now that's Harry, right?
That's
And
Prince
Meghan.
Harry and Meghan Markle.
Right. Now she was 19. He's my 20th cousin.
I like him way better. He's way cuter than the
He's-
other guy.
Is he red-haired?
He's got some nice auburn hair.
Is that your type?
She's beautiful. And now they live in America, I think.
No,
Or
now they live
Canada.
in Los Angeles. They
Yeah.
don't live in America. They live in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And if you've lived in Los Angeles, you'll know what I mean. Can we have a close-up? The one.
He's
before
gonna
me?
have a hard time staying faithful. Oh my God,
There they are.
Prince Harry in L.A. Forget about it.
How come you didn't give him ginger hair, as they say
Slaying.
in England?
I don't know.
Red. How come you didn't throw some red in there?
No, Bill, can you see these, or you just?
No, I can see him.
Oh, good.
That one looks identical. You did a great job with those.
Oh, yeah, I just zoomed in.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's like I like the stencil because you can get dead on with it.
So you have that stencil and you make like a brick pattern?
The brick pattern is
I love
yeah,
that.
it's
I
done
love that.
first. It's done first as like a compound painting. Just means it's got elements to it and depth.
Yeah.
So I do the bricks, and then I do for the graffiti type of look a spray on top of
That's
that.
great.
But it
So
It is-
that's actually on paper though.
no, that's on a big piece of wood. So that's actually fine art. That would go up in a gallery somewhere.
Are you going to be having any shows again?
Yeah. What you tell me when.
I'm asking you.
I'm not gonna be the first to. I mean, yeah, when things pick up, I'll be out and about again.
'Cause
That's the
you're-
best part about it. Going to different fairs and just talking to other artists, it's like priceless, invaluable.
Is there any way you can like just get together with some other local artists and put on a show?
Well, maybe we will. We're thinking about that, but the thing is, a lot of artists don't stick with it. Bill, you know what we should get is that art jam back. That was really cool. We did that.
What was that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why we didn't do it again, because I did it once and it was just so cool. They filled up Arms Park with tents and vendors, and it was all artists, John.
Was that back in the days of like
surprised-
Riverwalk?
I'm
years ago.
surprised, Micah. You don't get notified or contacted by some of these people that own some of these buildings.
Yeah.
Some of the older buildings, the mill buildings or whatever, and do artwork on the sides of buildings, even downtown, that are just sitting there and stuff that you could put something really nice together, whether it be his historical Manchester or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well,
To paint some, especially on the mill buildings, paint some the people that grew up, the French that came in on the train from Canada to work down at the mills. Pictures like that, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Well-
that's great.
it's a good idea. It's funny, every time I pass a building, I kind of have an idea for it. I haven't gotten myself out there really. What I want to do is formally, I don't know, come up with some kind of pitch. You can't just go up. I guess I could. I should just walk up to them and do it
Yeah, you should.
on the fly. Do my thing, yeah.
This
It's
is
too
Manchester.
formal. Why would I be formal?
You know what I like about the idea with Bill
Just be
is
like-
that this medium, it looks like it's aged, like it's old.
Yeah.
So when you're doing history, that it has like this aged look is
Yeah.
so great.
Yeah, I was going for that Queen Victorian look, like that distressed
Yeah.
look, that antique look.
Yeah, you succeeded.
Thanks. That's the thing about like painting. You gotta just learn as you go. Like even if you screw up a ton of canvases, if you X-ray a few canvases of mine, you'll see like 20 paintings in there.
Well, Picasso even, there's stuff under his. And on the
But
back
you're
side.
You're learning. You're looking for that perfect swipe, that
That-
perfect stencil, where you just get it. And that's like golf. When you hit that perfect shot, that perfect drive you've been sucking all day, you drive it, you get on in two, and you bird. You're gonna come back again with that in mind. Like when you get that perfect stencil, you can't get it out of your head that you are capable of doing more and more and more and more and more.
Which you did. You don't remember you were doing
A lot of screw-ups too, though.
repetition.
Yeah.
You had one of your paintings that was hung up at City Hall. It had a back. It was two-sided.
I finally got my stuff out of City Hall the other day.
How long was it there?
Oh my God. I think I got it last week.
But they took it down for the primary, right?
Yeah, it was in the mayor's office, and they would hop over it every single day to get there.
It was supposed to go back up, I thought.
When I called, they were like, "It's the guy with the paintings," and I swear I heard some like ovation, like he's coming finally. They're like, "We'll meet on, grab a face mask and gloves, and get your stuff out of here." No, they didn't say that. They were really sweet, actually. You could just tell.
You should do a portrait of Joyce
Thank
Craig
you.
on the bricks.
I would love to, but I don't know if that helps her or hurts her, to be honest.
Well-
Number one, I wouldn't want to screw up her likeness. Number two, I wouldn't want that to become like, some kind of favoritism.
Well, there has to be some medium you could capture her in.
Well, one of the artists before my thing at City Hall put a picture of her, and it was gone because people were complaining as they were going to pay their bills. They're like, "This is bias. This is selecting the election," and it's just crap, But it's true. People
Yeah,
do
that was
see
that was foolish. It was just.
They're
it was
really,
just a
really
distraction.
happened.
People were trying to use.
I know my
it,
stories are
it
unbelievable.
was-
This is true.
it was Just, I don't know. People they're just crybabies sometimes.
Cry babies.
Well, everyone's, the problem is when you don't have to do it face to face and confront someone,
Yeah.
it's just real easy to be a little weasel and do it that way. I do it. I mean, everyone does it. Everyone's a tough guy when they're typing,
Not everybody goes into City Hall and tells off the mayor.
Some people, I'm sure, to do it. I respect that guy
Me and
more.
Joe Lavasser.
I respect the guy who goes out to her and says something than the guy. Don't do that, everybody. Than the guy who complains about a drawing of her.
Let's do a little shift in subject because we have Bill here. Bill, not only are you an alderman from Ward 10, but you also, are a career law enforcement officer with the Sheriff's Department and then with the Auburn Police. I'm wearing a mask because I had a COVID test Thursday. I was having shortness of breath, but now I went to see my allergist and she changed my asthma medication, and that seems to have alleviated my symptoms. Well, it has alleviated my symptoms. But
Did you already get the results back?
no, I had it Thursday. It's 5 to 7 days, which I believe would be business days. So it should be available either tomorrow.
He's just
or
trying to
by the
stay
end of the week.
positive right now.
But one of the reasons I'm wearing this, it's like, and I didn't come in last week because I don't want to
Wait, negative.
take the chance spreading it. I didn't come in last week.
Yes, you're a
Because-
hero. He's the hero.
So what is there any update about COVID here in Manchester? Because we talked about that last week on the show.
More people.
I called in.
COVID's in town. Coming to a theater near you. It's here. It's playing. Now playing.
No
Be
theater.
extra careful, everybody.
Let's let Bill talk. I know you're ready to fly off like I do. Bill, what's the update?
I'll tell you, like I was, the people that are congregating down at Canal Street by the Amoskeag Bridge.
Right.
We spoke about it last night. One of the other aldermen brought it up about it seems to be getting bigger and bigger, and it is. It's there's more people coming in, and it's not. The unfortunate thing is it's not people that are leaving New Horizons, the shelter,
Yes.
to go and set up their tents over underneath the bridge. It's people coming from throughout the state of New Hampshire, and that's one of the unfortunate things with Manchester is it's a magnet. People, the word gets out that, hey, you know what, you can go live in Manchester in a tent and camp out, and they're going to feed you a few times a day, and we've got all the utilities there, the bathroom, the sink, to wash up. We got stuff to make sure, you continue, keeping clean and so on and so forth. There's going to come a time, unfortunately, that they're going to have to disperse. This is a temporary solution because the governor and the state, the health department, and everyone that's involved with this, and they've actually told them that there's going to come a time where you're going to have to leave. This is a temporary situation, and the only reason, the reason that we're doing it is to keep everyone, together, so that we're not out in the community spreading it. And so I'm kind of scared to see what's going to happen if these people are told they have to leave. Where are they going to go?
Right.
Remember a year and a half ago about when Mayor Craig was chastised for moving people, and it wasn't her decision, but moving people from the outside the riverbanks because it was a safety issue, because some of them had propane tanks, and it became a safety issue. The same thing, and then they started congregating downtown on Elm Street. Well, the same thing's going to happen, and are they going to blame her again as if it's her fault that we have this situation? And it's not her fault. The state, is dictating to us.
It is the
how
state.
to handle things. We're following their direction, and we're going to continue it. But again, there's going to come a time where these people have to, leave that area.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out two things. That was just a campaign issue when they were blaming Joyce Craig. People that were railed against the homeless and homeless encampments and not doing anything. And then when that encampment for safety issues was, taken down, they used that as, as part of the mayoral race. People, it was irresponsible in a way because under the previous mayor, other encampments were broken up and for safety issues too. There was one down near Bass Island, remember? And the people at the dog park were complaining about the aggression of the people that were down there, and there were needles strewn about, and that one. So, but I'd like to just point out, is anybody just does a little research, it's the state that it's the state program under CDC guidelines using federal money,
Right.
because you don't want the homeless who could be infected with COVID, spreading it, become, vectors of contagion. But when it comes to City Hall politics, and I was with Joe Biden one time where he said the worst, he was on the municipal council in Delaware before he ever became a senator, and he said that was the worst politics of all, worse than being a senator, worse than being a vice president under Obama, just that city politics. But this is federal and state guidelines, and we still have the problem. I don't think it's ever been solved about this hub and spoke system, which I guess has been suspended now. Never worked.
Yeah.
Cities were sending their homeless people to Manchester.
That's what they just
and the
said
state, and the state
happening
was
now.
allowing it for politics.
They're coming in these cans, and it's a party. You should see it. I go every night. It's great. Josh
there's a party
Logan's
with them?
headlining this
You're
Friday
right,
night.
John, because
Yeah.
What was happening with that is they were sending people, for example, they'd call a 211 number, I believe
Yeah.
it was, and they would go down the list of what their situation was, and it was like calling out bingo. And it's like as soon as they got to one, that the location around where they come from didn't have that. For example, mental health.
Yeah.
They would say, well, we don't have that here. We're going to have to send you to Manchester. Well, we don't have Suboxone and methadone. We're going to have to send you to Manchester.
Right.
Well, we have it all here. So when you get these small towns and up the 93 corridor, what they were doing was they would hit a point where they didn't have that available, and Manchester would be the one. So they'd put them in a Uber and send them down here.
Now, don't you think that we're funneled a lot of resources to accommodate for that
No.
exact problem, though?
No, we don't.
More than others, like, we'll give it to Manchester because they have all these people coming, maybe.
Bill, you know about this better than I do. Do we get
Yeah,
this?
I mean, as far
Do
as
they count?
resources
Do
go,
they account for
that
that?
was that was part of the problems, and you can look at it even at the school side. The state of New Hampshire is supposed to be giving, throughout the years, a certain percentage to cities and towns, and they stopped doing it. They cut down a lot, so they put all the burden on the taxpayers, and for example, Manchester, so they'd have to foot the bill. And the same thing that happened with this with the opioid crisis,
Right.
where people were being sent down here. Well, the state of New Hampshire was getting all the federal funding, and it wasn't being dispersed as Manchester should have been getting the most of it. I even entertained that the federal government should send it directly to Manchester because we're the ones that are dealing with it.
There was not an equitable distribution of the federal monies or the state monies, because you got the 400 state reps, and every locality wants its share of the money. And if you're in a town anywhere and you can send your people to Manchester, but you get the money for a problem that you've just offloaded to Manchester, you can use that money in different ways.
I suppose that's a reach.
No, it's not. I suppose that's what's actually
That's
happening.
the motivation.
Well, you have this ridiculous 400.
I think they just don't want to deal with
people
it.
stay-
They don't have shelters in small towns.
No, they
What are they
do.
going to have 4 people? So they just don't want to deal with it. So
They-
they send them our way. And
Well, they
now
want
we
to-
do get.
But they keep the money.
I don't know anything about the money.
Well, it is. It's about the
Bongo's
money.
right. The small towns, they're not outfitted. They don't. They may have a church or a nonprofit organization in the small town that will help out a few people.
Yeah.
But
What do you do in a
City
small
of
town?
Manchester, we do. We have the nonprofits. We have the churches. We also have the New Horizons.
The wheels
we
are
have,
turning for sure.
well,
Yeah.
Back when we used to have Serenity Place, Angela's, and all these other. Now we have St. Casimir School. We've got Families in Transition. There's just a lot. 1269. There's so many organizations.
Jeez, when you rattle
so
them off
many,
like that.
things that are located in Manchester that will, and you know what? I'm not putting them down because they're in their own way. They're all
Yeah,
great.
you're right. What can
But
they do?
Well-
we just don't. It's tough for us to take care of the whole state.
It's very John Lennon of us, though.
You guys are right, because what can they do? And if they're going to be given money,
So
it's not them that are, they're going to accept
look,
it.
somebody's got to step up. Who's going to do it if Manchester doesn't? So we should take pride in the fact that we
but
are
I'll
the
tell you,
heroes.
I honestly cringe at the idea of once they have to start dispersing these people
Oh,
from
boy.
these encampments. It's where they're going to go, and you wait for the horror show when downtown Manchester starts getting hit with these people going there asking for money, asking for food,
Oh, yeah.
camping out on Elm Street, because they're looking for that hand, well, you can call it hand up, hand out, whatever you want to call it. It is what it is, but they're going to be going somewhere, and if they can't live on the riverbanks or underneath the Ambuscade Bridge anymore, they're going to go somewhere. And unfortunately, it's not going to be New Horizons, or it's not going to be St. Casimir, or Families in Transition. It's going to be
Elm
They're going to be
Street.
camping out on Elm Street.
You damn right.
It's like every big city
Right?
anywhere
in front
else.
Of baked, get that prime
Homeless
spot.
people, you go to New York City, you go to Miami, you go to wherever is the big San Francisco, Los Angeles.
Yeah, but people aren't used to this. The people coming from Bedford to go get some mint bistro aren't used to that scene. They're not.
Bedford's building its own Golden Mile,
Well,
out in 101.
I don't know if they're ever gonna. I don't know. Do homeless people hang out in Bedford?
I can tell you
I don't think so.
from experience, going downtown, even when there was a lot of complaints about some of the homeless hanging out downtown, there were. There's no doubt there were, but not to the amount that people. There was a little of exaggeration for some
Yeah.
people, saying that was just infiltrated with homeless people, doing bad things, which some of them are, and unfortunately. The only way to stop them is through enforcement, and that's where the police come in. And so it's going to be tough. I'm telling you, it's going to be tough once we run out of money.
Well, Chief Capano went before the Board of Aldermen and said exactly what he needed, exactly what it was going to cost, and eventually the mayor and the board came through, and it helped with the situation. It's, there's the people that run their mouths and they have no solution whatsoever, except they're going to, click their ruby shoes together and send the people to Oz or Kansas or someplace. Gonzo and I were talking last week, around the year 2000, when Louis Craig, the former police chief, he was the head of New Horizons, I think it was back then, the homeless shelter, whatever it was then. And he went in front of the board of mayor and aldermen, and both Keith Hirschman and Joe Lavassa were on the board then, and they were talking about, they were taking the situation seriously, how to handle it, and they talked about whether the state could put people in the armory. This was back in 2000. They seem to have constructive criticisms then. I guess you can't do that, though. You can't force homeless people to go into places.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that, and there's a case, it's a federal case, Martin versus Des Moines, Iowa. And unless, people think it's easy, you can just move people along. Like, for
Right.
example, if the police went downtown Elm Street, and there were some people that were just hanging there, sitting down or whatever, you cannot just tell them to move because it's a public street, and you can't tell them to move unless you have a place for them to go to. And if there's no room
Right.
at the shelter, if there's no room at the New Horizons, you don't have anywhere to go, you can't force them to leave.
So you can go up to someone on the street on Elm Street and say, you have to get your things, you have to go. We have room for you at a shelter. And if they decide not
If
to,
you have room,
you
can do that.
they have to
And
move
if they
though,
don't,
right?
If they don't go, then you can get them. You can actually arrest them for disorderly conduct or whatever, or trespass or whatever. But
Seems like a
what's
whole
going to
can
happen
of
now?
worms
And
there.
then you've got the courts that are very lenient. So as soon as they get
Right.
Brought down to the Manchester Police Department, they're released before the police officer is finished doing his report.
Right, and there's also the catch-22 right now. If you arrest people and put them in the Valley Street Jail, that's not going to make the COVID situation any better, is it? There's a great
no,
worry amongst prison
How
populations.
many people are at Valley Street?
I'm not sure. That could be a whole.
It's gone down a
show
lot.
itself.
It's
And
gone
they're
down,
packed. They're packed in.
Back when there used to be quite a few It wasn't. I don't think it was. I don't know if it was ever at capacity, but it was. There were times when it was close. But now I'm hearing that it's like 1/3 capacity. You know?
Oh, okay.
Right, because of bail
Which
reform.
is, which is very low.
Right. Well, that's what we strive for anyway. You know, I'm sure there's other
Well,
ways to look at
the
it.
bail. The unfortunate thing, it's the bail reform. I'm all for. People can't. Some people can't make bail. It's one thing if it's like their first offense or even a second offense or whatever. But if you're going to release them on personal recognizance, well, the reason that you do that is number one, you want to make sure the reason for bail in the first place is you want to make sure they show up,
Right.
and you also want to make sure that they don't commit crimes while they're out there on bail. And unfortunately, what some of these people is they're getting arrested, going to Valley Street Jail. They're being released because of the bail reform that we have now, and then they're going back out, and some of them being arrested within hours after they've been released for the same
Probably.
thing they just got locked up for.
Yeah, there is a lot of people that are just serial offenders, and you think
Right.
they'd be treated differently on bail reform than somebody who just been busted the first time or just a couple times. But there was somebody killed last year by somebody that was out and who had a history of violence. I mean, it's a very unfortunate situation. You'd think that they would be able to distinguish between a violent criminal and non-violent, like just property
You
crimes.
can't bat 1,000.
But
though,
then
John.
again,
Yeah.
you can't get them all
But
right.
I know,
you know.
Chief Capano and Assistant Chief Ryan
Right.
Grant have both, went to the, we've actually been on social media complaining about exactly what you just talked about. Some of these people that are charged with violent offenses are being released because of the bail reform, and that's not what the bail reform was supposed to be.
No.
It was supposed to be for nonviolent offenses, but unfortunately, either the way it was written or interpreted, almost everyone's being released.
right.
You think that's just crafty lawyer work, or is that just like you just said, a loophole, huh? That's
Oh,
unfortunate.
the state legislators, there was,
Jeez.
state legislators
Some wording.
that passed it. And I honestly feel that they had great intention.
Right.
But unfortunately, they need to make it a little bit tougher,
The guy who wrote it up was a little too soft on his typing.
Well, no, the constitutional law is a living thing.
That's
It's
great.
constantly evolving, and
Yep.
you do have to amend laws if there are these loopholes.
It's true. You never see a safety net up at a baseball field
Right.
until a kid gets hit with a foul ball, It's
They
true.
didn't have that, yeah.
Forever.
But-
Now
but
one
it-
kid goes down, and that's the new norm. Something has to happen for something to happen.
Yeah, the law evolves just like our society does. We don't live in the old Soviet Union where they, they didn't even have law.
I must break you.
Yeah, that was basically it. Jeez, Bill, do you have anything?
I would like to say we all love Manchester, though. Would you all agree that?
We do.
It's
We
frustration
do.
for sure, but
we all
what pride we
of us,
have.
John, went on a little hiatus back out to California and so on, but I've been here. I had a couple of summers I spent on Nantucket when I was in college, but other than that, I've lived in Manchester my whole life, and I enjoy it. Certainly has some problems throughout the years, but you know what? You just deal with it. It's life, and it's part of growing up. I mean, when I grew up, I lived in a pretty tough neighborhood. I grew up in tough times, and you were taught to fend for yourself and take care of yourself, and you know what? You were respected for it.
Oh yeah,
Well-
and we all get the same story. 4 years of Little League, good, and it's just the same cycle, and that's what makes you a true blue Manchester. Like only Manchester people kind of get what we're talking about,
Well, the same problems, like I said, the homeless, they were dealing with it back in 2000, and some of the same people on the board. And there's just some issues that are going to be with you forever. Crime, the poor, how much compassion fatigue. And it would take a task force to figure something out rational, but you have to pass laws and deal with the situation right as it is, We
Yeah.
don't always live in
Right.
an ideal time.
And I wasn't trying to be hard on policemen because what a tough job they have. I was just saying, give them respect, and they won't might maybe look into bugging you more. That's
Well, yeah, they deserve respect.
because
Yeah, they do.
oh, of course.
You
So
know
yeah,
Mike,
what a
and
job.
that's one of the
Jeez.
things that's changed over the times. Growing up, the last thing you want to do is get in trouble by the police, because you would rather, actually, honestly, you would rather have them deal with it than bring it to your parents' attention. Because if they did that, boy, it was a worse punishment than what you would get from the police.
The World War
Those are the
II
days you
generation.
turn the
Schools. I mean, if the principal called your parent or parents to tell you you're misbehaving in school, your parents took care of you. Nowadays, unfortunately, you get parents that go in there saying, "Why are you picking on my kid?"
Well,
And blame it on the administration. And it's unfortunate because there's so many kids out there that are growing up in society that just don't have any respect. They don't respect
Oh, my
their parents. They don't respect their teachers. They don't respect the teachers. They don't respect
Coaches.
the police, and and people of authority. It's terrible.
Oh my God, the disrespect in kids, Bill. You must have noticed it on your way out, coaching. I could only deal with it for so long. It's unfortunate. But what I think, it's funny that people used to whoop their kids' ass, and that's what worked. And then now,
I don't know if it
now we don't.
worked.
Well, it's what happened, and now that's gone. And it's so cynical because I would never believe in whipping a kid's ass, but it's clearly impacted the way kids have been brought up. The respect level.
Them's
for
were
sure.
different times.
I was scared of my dad. I was so scared of my dad.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
He didn't hit me though.
I've got a split. I thank you for
He didn't hit
me. Yeah.
me, and
Bill, that was great.
Talk to you guys. It was a pleasure, and I'll do it again.
Okay.
I have a thing I have to go to next door here, right?
Okay, take care, Bill. Thanks. We got to wrap it up
See you guys.
early, though, because we
See
got to
you, Bill.
sanitize. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, thank you guys.
Yeah, that was Bill Barry, Alderman of Ward 10. I think Bill's a candidate. He's running for sheriff of Hillsborough County. He'd certainly make an excellent one. I think
met-
Chief Hardy's retired.
I met him
Sheriff
through his baseball days. He was a really good coach for the Babe Ruth organization forever.
Babe Ruth, huh?
All Stars, all that. So I've known Bill for a while, and he's just as fun as he is serious, too. You know?
Oh, yeah. Do you want to start? We can start wiping down the set online.
Not really. I'll wait till the show's over.
Why? The show is, aren't we supposed to quit like 5 minutes of?
You just gave me a stern talking to about being late, and you're doing the wrap-up wipe down.
Well, it's good that we wiped down. What do we do? The whole thing?
Why don't we talk about what you're going to do?
You
if
have 1 minute to
If you
talk.
test positive for the COVID, what are you going to do?
I don't know. What do you do? There's so little guidance in this age.
Do you have a panic attack?
I have high levels of anxiety.
No.
What would it?
But where would you be without
I would
that?
feel guilty.
Where would you be without your anxiety? You have to have it to make yourself special, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about.
Embrace your faults, for sure. Because that guy who's making fun of you is jealous of you.
Is that you? Are you making fun of me?
I used to be a jerk, but... I try
But
not to
things
be.
change, like the Bob Dylan song. I
I-
used to care, but
I'm
things
Bob Dylan,
have
I'm John Lennon.
changed.
I'm all the above.
Bob Dylan, Bob Zimmerman, Nobel Prize for Literature winner. When I heard that, tears came to my eyes.
Want to hear a quote?
Yes, you got about a
To-
minute.
To get completely clean, you got to get a little bit dirty.
That sounds like
This guy.
some thing from an old detective movie from the 1940s.
Nope, that's
With
one of
Veronica
mine.
Lake saying that to Alan Ladd.
One of my sayings.
Do we even wipe this down?
You can do that all you want.
Well, folks, I'd rather be careful because I'm around people that are in their 60s and he has a child. It's better to be safe than sorry, even if you do
What
look
are
like
you-
a bandito.
Bandit. You should see what you look like right now.
You ought to make, you're an artist, make us some bandanas.
You look like you're in a... Never mind. We'll leave that alone.
Do you
I
want
think
to
everybody
comment
knows.
on your background that you made?
I'd rather talk about your cleaning technique on the microphones right there.
All right, folks, we're going to say goodbye because, somebody else is coming in.
Norm.
Thanks, and we'll see you next week at Ward 13.